Well, it's funny. Restaurants. I'm talking to somebody in Pittsburgh. I'm sure this is a story in a lot of restaurants, but basically their boss is threatening them if they don't come back. You're not going to get unemployment. You're not going to get this. You're not going to get that. So trying to force them back when it's really not safe. We just saw. I mean, Texas reopened too early. Florida reopened too early. There's massive spikes. I mean, I think I read Florida. The day count for COVID cases is more than any European country had, just in Florida. But restaurant workers are basically being bullied into coming back, and they're getting massive increases in COVID. But for those kind of paycheck to paycheck workers, they don't have another choice. Basically, restaurant workers, and I mean, if you get pushed back to come back, and then it's getting closed down again, so you're risking yourself health-wise, plus the economic consequences.
Yeah, for sure.
And you would be surprised too. Looking at piggybacking off of that, a lot of businesses benefited from the paycheck protection program. So I'm even curious to especially with the restaurant owners with threatening. I'm pretty sure it's going on. They're already receiving grants and funding from the Small Business Administration through the government for this, and they're still probably forcing employees out. It's likely that they're doing that, and it just goes to show you that at the bottom of the totem pole here is just us regular people who are really struggling and trying to make sure that we can put food on the table, that our kids are going to be okay and can eat, that they're safe, and that we're going to have a roof over our head.
But what's interesting is it's just like, and I just heard this in Newark. I'm hearing it again now. But like 3 weeks from now, a lot of these, actually here, I think the evictions moratorium is already up. Oh no, that was in Pittsburgh. But the moratorium for evictions is basically up. And there's like no action plan by most of these city councils, mayors, and unemployment, as far as we know, is about to expire for all the people that were laid off. So you basically have just like a groundswell of working people marching towards a cliff, and there's nobody trying to avoid it. Not the federal government, not the state government. So,
and there are a lot of predatory slumlords in this area who they'll be like, "Oh, that's great. I can violate that lease, and then get a whole bunch of other people in." And there's no shortage of people who are willing to go and pay these guys to get in. You know what I mean? If you're going to be homeless, you're going to pay a guy regardless.
Mm-hmm. So, have you, in your network of friends, family, community members, are you seeing a lot of people right now getting threatened with evictions, things like that?
I know a lot of people who are worried about it. I don't think the stuff hasn't hit the fan yet, luckily. But I know a lot of people are worried about it. It's prevalent on everyone's mind. Every time I'm talking to somebody, they're talking about money. They're talking about what's going on with their job, whether their job is responding in a way that's responsible, or they're talking about. I mean, especially I used to work in restaurants a lot, and I couldn't imagine being a server right now and being forced to do all this gear and all this extra stuff. I mean, there's a whole nother added layer to everything that everyone was doing. People were stressed out before COVID, and pushed to the limit, and now, to add all this extra extraneous stuff is troubling.
Well, it's funny. Restaurants. I'm talking to somebody in Pittsburgh. I'm sure this is a story in a lot of restaurants, but basically their boss is threatening them if they don't come back. You're not going to get unemployment. You're not going to get this. You're not going to get that. So trying to force them back when it's really not safe. We just saw. I mean, Texas reopened too early. Florida reopened too early. There's massive spikes. I mean, I think I read Florida. The day count for COVID cases is more than any European country had, just in Florida. But restaurant workers are basically being bullied into coming back, and they're getting massive increases in COVID. But for those kind of paycheck to paycheck workers, they don't have another choice. Basically, restaurant workers, and I mean, if you get pushed back to come back, and then it's getting closed down again, so you're risking yourself health-wise, plus the economic consequences.
Yeah, for sure.
And you would be surprised too. Looking at piggybacking off of that, a lot of businesses benefited from the paycheck protection program. So I'm even curious to, especially with the restaurant owners with threatening, I'm pretty sure it's going on, they're already receiving, grants and funding from the Small Business Administration through the government for this, and they're still probably forcing employees out. It's likely that they're doing that, and it just goes to show you that at the bottom of the totem pole here is just us regular people who are really struggling and trying to make sure that we can put food on the table, that our kids are going to be okay and can eat, that they're safe, and that we're going to have a roof over our head.
What do you think on the local level? I mean, what can people do? Because basically you're facing economic Armageddon in 3 weeks.
Like Arthur was saying, especially it needs to start at the local level, because the trickle-down effect from the federal government is not going to do it for us. I think it's really important, especially with us in our collective and the grassroots movement that we've been doing. There's been a lot of momentum behind the Black Lives Matter movement, because it's like, okay, enough is enough, right? And I feel like in a sense, especially here in our city, and it's catching on, is that we're putting local politicians on notice, right? So we are, like, when we're saying we're organizing, like, we have a collective here in Allentown, and it's a really strong movement that we have momentum. And a lot of it is education and empowering ourselves and empowering our people. And when we say, like, our people that look like me and Arthur, people that are poor and white in Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton, because that's, the moneyed people are not worried about them either, regardless of, if they're white or not. But we've,
This isn't a race thing.
Yeah.
Racist.
Yeah, it's
We're here to help white people as well, and I think
that was dismissed.
and that's part of the narrative that people are, these Black Lives Matter, they're black supremacists or this or that and whatever, and it's like, no, we have white people with us now, and those allies are one of the reasons why we are feeling so confident, because there has been a paradigm shift in the culture of America and people educating themselves to the history of racism. And some of the organizers that we have are Spanish people, they're white people, they're people of color, but we're focusing around this issue. What I like to say is that this is really a class issue, but the problem is that we have race in the way, that race has been used to divide people. And race isn't something that even exists. It's a lie. What we're doing is we're fighting an abstract concept. But once we can address this, and then we realize that, a poor black guy who lives here in Allentown realizes, hey, wait, it's not the white guy who lives in West Virginia who's really my issue. And then that white guy in West Virginia goes, hey, wait, it's not the black guy in the inner city who's really my problem. And we can get people together and united and to realize that their interests are the same, then their natural gaze will go towards, wait, our enemies are also the same.
And it's really important to, like we were saying, like putting the local politicians on notice. We are organizing internally. We know election dates. We know who's up. We know who's not up yet. We are getting behind candidates that, we see fit, that are going to, push forward with our message. And, they don't have to be politicians. Trump wasn't a politician, and he became the leader of the free world. When you think about it, like how crazy that is. And I hate to say if Trump can do it, anyone can do it, because anyone is not Trump. He's his own, I don't even know the word for that. But, right, we're putting pressure where it needs to apply, because what's scaring politicians right now is like, okay, well, I can't go against Black Lives Matter. I can't say Black lives don't matter, And so, like, now Trump is saying
Earlier today, I think he said something like, these symbol of hate, yeah.
Yeah, the Black Lives Matter on, where was it, Fifth Avenue?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a symbol of hate, and how expensive it was going to be to do that. Like, I'll go down there, I'll bring my own bucket of paint.
we had a protest in Penargil that we were a part of last Saturday, and there was a counter protest. And it's like, who counters Black Lives Matter? Like, you understand what you're saying, right? It's countering that. So it's really important for us to mobilize, to get people in the office at the seat of the table that are going to be a representation of us, not just our skin color, but of our ideas, what our beliefs are. We put, Allentown on notice that, yes, we have this momentum, and, you'll see I'll say one thing with COVID-19. The one thing that there's not really a benefit from it, but I will say that people are home and they're not really able to go anywhere. So we've had increased attendance in city council meetings and the Lehigh County commissioner meetings. We've shown up, we've been vocal, we've been emailing, and we've gotten our attention. We've gotten their attention. I mean, Allentown is going to. We're still waiting for them. They said this week they're going to make their use of force policy public for the first time in its history, because we pressured and we said, hey, we want the 8 can't wait in there, but it's not done yet. Because remember we were talking about before, like, oh, let's talk about the police. It's not done yet. There's so many other issues. So it's time that we vote people out and we get them in where we need to get in, because unfortunately with Biden and Trump, it is the lesser of two evils, and it's always going to be that way until this two-party system is broken down and we can actually get real people like from the Green Party, independents in there as well. But it starts at the local level, and we root it out from there and we work our way up.
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.